What's up, everybody? Am I on the right network here? Yeah, I'm having some issues with my stream. But that's okay. Good to be live again. Let's start the room. Okay, awesome. So, anybody watching this? Well, if you're watching this right now, that means you're watching the YouTube video of the stream, not actually the live stream itself. The people who are watching the live stream will slowly start to trickle in over the next, 30 minutes, basically. But for you, if you're interested, I do these calls every Friday, and anybody can join. Hey! What's up, Ray? I wasn't expecting somebody to join so quickly. This is awesome. Looks like you can't hear me or see me yet, so I'm just going to keep going. So, anybody who is interested, for you guys watching this video, you can look in the description and you can find a link to the Zoom call. What you're seeing right now, I'm recording my screen, right? So you can see my desktop, you can see the software I'm using to do the recording, that kind of thing. And you can see the Zoom room, which is right here. So if you want to join, you can talk to me directly. There's no requirements to joining. You can just join the room and chat. Just be aware that this is being live streamed. So if you do join, you will be live streamed on my YouTube channel. And now let me open up the chat so that I can see if you guys are saying anything. Bum, ba-dum, bum. I've been playing RuneScape. Addicting. Alright, I need to go to my YouTube channel. My channel. Let's see, how's the stream health? Ooh, it's not doing good today. I'm losing a lot of frames. Like a whole lot. Ooh, I have an idea. I could convert it to a 720p stream. Why is it so bad right now? It's not normally that bad. Oh, chill out. Hey, there's some people in the chat already. Alright, let's see. What's up, Anas, Harsha, Dao, and Kafir? Or, I don't know if it's Kafir or Romeo from DSM. So, at the moment, my stream is having some health issues. I gotta try and fix that. Yeah, it's dropping 86% of the frames. That's really bad. Like, really bad. So, what I can do is I'm gonna change my settings real quick so that I'm running in 720 instead of 1080. This should help a little bit. 720. Where's 720? Here we go. Changes. Okay, 720. And then we're going to go into OBS. I gotta stop streaming. Alright, how are we doing now? Should be better now, guys. Why is my internet choking so much today? It's no good. No good. Where's the Zoom room? Zoom. Back to meeting. Ray has joined, but I can't see him or hear him. And the stream health is so bad. I don't know what to do about this, guys. Normally this isn't a problem, but let's see. So if can you guys in the chat, hey, Kafir.
Hello.
What's cracking, man?
How you doing? Are we live?
Yeah, but for some reason today my live stream is like 75% of the frames are dropping, which is really, really bad. And I don't know.
Well, when I watched it on my end, it was just fine.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to go with it then. OBS has OBS is the live streaming software that I use, and it shows a little health monitor. And typically it's green, even with my slow internet in Nicaragua. But right now it's saying that 3 out of 4 frames are being dropped, which would mean that it would look like super bad. But whatever, you know, it is what it is.
Well, I'm used to being the DSM Tool Studio when I'm going on live, like generally creating videos for our channel. And I've never seen anyone going live and saying like, come on Zoom and just talk to me. Everything is live. So I'm actually at home. Like it's weekend here. It's Israel, and Friday, Saturday is the weekend in Israel. And I was about to watch a show with my girlfriend. And I was like, oh, there's this influencer that we work with, and I really want to go live on his stream. Would you mind if I go for a couple of minutes? And she was like, all right. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to do this every, it started out as like a group, but I just like being accessible to people. So I'm starting to realize like I don't really want to run a group with the same people. I just want to be open to anybody joining. And then if the same people want to join, that's great. But really what matters is that I am doing some live streams and that, you know, I'm helping people and connecting with people.
All right. Let me know how can I contribute today to the chat if there's anything that anyone wants to talk about is related to things that we do. If for those who's watching, my name is Kfir. I'm the co-founder and CEO of DSM Tool. It's a dropshipping software. Me and Jack have been doing a couple of videos in the past. I hope it's okay that I'm saying that, Jack.
Yeah, I'm not trying to talk about anything. Don't worry.
All right, I'm just trying to contribute. No, I won't do no promotions to the software. That would be like really unfair. But I'll wait if there are any questions or anyone wants to talk about something. I would love to share my experience.
Yeah, I'll let you know. So I got my the live chat on my phone. So whenever anybody asks anything, I'll see here. Hopefully that.
What interests you lately? Let's talk about something you've done lately.
Oh, yeah. Man. Okay. Skillshare. Absolutely Skillshare.
Can you share more about it? I remember that we had, when me and Jack had a call, I'm mostly doing eBay and eBay dropshipping. And we had a call about Vero, right? That was the subject back then. And that was the first time that you introduced me to Skillshare. And since then, I opened an account. I even went through your link that I suppose will be in the description now that we're talking about Skillshare.
Yeah.
And I did register, and I did not yet get to actually use it. So for people like me that are like that, it could be really useful for. It's not only me. There are like many people working in DSM company, and I'm always thinking how important. And I'm always saying it to our customers too, that it's very important to keep like raising the level. It's not about knowledge, it's about skills. Like today, if you go to university, you can waste 3 years. I'm not telling anyone to drop out. I'm just saying you can waste a lot of time and not learn that much. I studied business and entrepreneurship, which was great for, these are things that it's a little bit harder to learn like outside of university, how to raise capital for a startup, stuff like that. All right, for this level of stuff, you would need sometimes a little bit more professional help and professional like resources that a university can offer. But eventually, when it comes to day-to-day work, I haven't learned anything, like how to establish a YouTube channel, how to, I don't know, do things with the software, how to manage customers. That we have over 5,000 customers, and we're like, how the hell do you manage suddenly 5,000 customers? I'm 28. I was not, So it was Udemy that I sent our customer manager to study at, and he went and actually did a course to gain the skills about customer support management. So why can you share a little bit, maybe from your experience, why is it that Skillshare is what you think should replace when it comes to learning skills, like YouTube, that where you look today for information and for skills, or Udemy, or all of those platforms? What differentiates it?
So for those of you listening who don't know what Skillshare is, it's an online course marketplace, just like Udemy or Teachables or Lynda or Coursera. These are all places that you can go online to learn something. And the main differentiation with Skillshare is that instead of paying for each course, you just pay one monthly membership fee, and that fee is $15. So there are courses that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? Like that's pretty common. There's even courses that cost tens of thousands of dollars. Courses can get really expensive. And so to be able to access every course on an entire platform for only $15 a month is just completely different than almost every other course platform. For example, with Udemy, if you buy a course, you're going to spend 10, 20 bucks on that one course. You don't get any other courses. You just get that one course. Whereas on Skillshare, you pay for membership. That's what
we had to do. We had to buy it for 20 bucks.
Yeah, yeah. And that same amount of money spent on Skillshare equals every single course that you can take in a 30-day period. So it just, as a student, the experience is so much better. You can take as many courses as you want about anything that's available on Skillshare. And there's more and more and more and more courses available every week on Skillshare as people are producing new kinds of content. And so as an instructor, it's not necessarily as profitable as having like a Udemy course that gets really big. Hey, Ray.
Right. That was my next question. Like I know that we're trying to offer people the financial freedom through dropshipping, and you're talking about that subject a lot. And I always say to our customers, when you are working online, find as many ways as you can to make money. Maybe you can share a little bit about like what is the monetization model that Skillshare has. Like how are you planning to make money through Skillshare?
So Skillshare pays its instructors two ways. One is through the amount of minutes that students are engaging in your course. For example, if a student watches your course for 10 minutes, then you're going to get paid a rate roughly 5 cents per minute. So you get paid as people engage in your course, right? The other way that they pay their instructors is through referral signups. So as I mentioned earlier, it costs $15 a month to have Skillshare membership. However, when you sign up, if you sign up through an instructor's link, like I have one in the description, for example, then you get 2 months of membership for free. And in addition to that, if you create a course, you get a whole year of membership for free. So not only is Skillshare one of the cheapest options available for online learning, at least if you're paying something, but it's also possible to make it completely free if you sign up for a free trial, and then within that free trial, you create one course. And creating a course sounds intense, but the minimum on Skillshare is 10 minutes. So it's completely doable to make a 10-minute video.
That's really cool. That's a really nice monetization method. Can I share, because I at some point have to go back, I don't have permission for that long. Can I share one tip also on my side?
Absolutely.
All right. So there is a lot of discussion. We actually had a talk yesterday about something that will come up later on, probably in the upcoming weeks. But one of the things that we discussed, and it's a hot subject in a different world, which is the world of dropshipping, is the legitimacy of dropshipping on eBay. And I wrote together with Romeo that you said earlier. Romeo is in our marketing team, and he's working a lot with influencers. So together with him, we created an article about working with a supplier called Tmart. And what's beautiful with Tmart and with many suppliers that we're integrating is that that you can actually be much, much more legitimate dropshipping from there, because they have a very, very unique dropshipping program. What the hell was that?
Sorry, I muted that. So can you spell the? I'm showing the internet browser right now. So can you spell the name of the service you're talking about?
No, it's an article in our blog. If you do blog.dsmtool.com, we changed the name now. It's called now the Dropship Academy. And we used to only share like news and tips and a little bit lower level content, but recently we've decided to go much, much deeper, because we understood how deep is the problem that the dropshipping community is having today. I mean, you see courses everywhere talking about like the delegitimization of using softwares at all. And we're like, our approach is like, man, if everyone says it's not legitimate, we're going to create a very, very legitimate solution for everyone, so that, otherwise nobody will anymore recommend us. And Tmart is the sparkle in the beginning of something much, much bigger that we're working on. But it's beautiful because it will allow eBay sellers, and I'm sure that some of your audience are eBay sellers who either got banned or had restrictions or having a hard time to sell. And if they'll start using suppliers like Tmart, I know that Banggood has a similar option, and we're integrating more, but I cannot talk about it yet. So we're integrating more suppliers, and we will release same level of content. So for each one of those suppliers, you will see a very, very like deep research about that supplier. We learn everything. We contact the suppliers. We talk to them. We get all the information that the dropshippers needs in order to help them to make their eBay journey more legitimate. And that's kind of a new approach that we took, because we were, until today, we were like, do Amazon and to eBay. Even in the video, I've instructed the entire marketing thing, like everything that you do, you don't only show Amazon, because we want to diverse, and we say that to new sellers, maybe you don't even want to start dropshipping on Amazon, which is completely against like what you would expect a dropshipping software to tell, that its biggest website is Amazon. But we want everyone to have safe business. We want them to have a long-term legitimate business. So the article is there, and I believe it like really contains a lot of information. And our third, like next articles are going to be even more descriptive, like from the level of the what's the opportunity, and we show products and we compare it between websites, down to how to join the dropshipping program, and how the hell does it work at all, and sections of the website that you should be aware of, that you should know, like, and all of the policies, shipping policy, returns policies.
Yeah, you've got like a whole course on
or at least
here.
It's not a whole course, but it's like a deep review.
This is way more than a blog post. I'm looking at it now, and there's like information about how to use it. There's information about doing pricing research. There's tons of information here.
I hope, and if there is anything that is missing, and I'll tell you more than that, we were supposed to, like, we'll talk about it more in private, but we actually have like a way to incorporate and to test those suppliers using our influencers, which is something that we want to do, so that we will actually verify that, like, we will ship products to you, and then you would get the package and you would experience what the end buyer will experience. And that's beautiful, because the end buyer is everything that eBay is talking about eventually. So I hope that was a useful information for this broadcast and for your audience, and we will keep in touch about it in private. I did take a little bit advantage of the fact that I was able to go live with you on the Zoom call, but if you're winking, it means that I might. It's all right. I like to be straightforward. You know that already. Awesome. So I guess I'll let other people go on the call and talk. I see that people are trying to join.
Hopefully.
That's it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and this is good, because for those of you guys who are hearing Kfir talk about Tmart, it's a source that can provide you with a dropshipping agreement. So there's a lot of talk about dropshipping on eBay and it being not allowed. That's not true. What's not allowed on eBay is dropshipping from eBay's competitors. eBay doesn't like it when we sell from Amazon and then their eBay customer gets a box from Amazon showing the customer that Amazon's a better service. This isn't really
so
what
let me
eBay
tell you
wants.
something beautiful about Tmart, specifically about Tmart. So on Tmart, we still didn't manage. We're trying to contact them to get a resale agreement for our customers, but it's really, really hard. But we are getting it from other suppliers that we will release in the future, in the very near future. And but on Tmart, you have different things that could still convince eBay that it's a legitimate dropshipping. First, you have a dropshipping program. You can show that you're part of a dropshipping program, and you can show invoices from purchases that you placed. They have a special section where you place dropshipping orders. You don't place the order as usual. It's called place dropshipping order. You actually first fill up the details of the customer, and only then you say what's the product SKU. Like SKU, it's something that we explain in the article, but and then they send the box not branded. It doesn't have the Tmart logo on the box. It's a blank box, and you know, this is exactly what eBay is talking about when they are saying we don't dropship from you know, other suppliers, other retailers, and take and provide bad experience to our customers. Plus, tell them the other websites are cheaper than what you would get on eBay.
Yeah, this is exactly what eBay wants.
Yeah, but step by step. Okay, I'll keep you updated with the upcoming suppliers too. But I think that I stole enough time of this live.
That's all good. I was surprised that anybody. Usually, I'd like talk to myself for the first 30 minutes of the live, and then maybe somebody joins. So
I'll do my best to join if I want, you know, if they won't kill me at home, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you got relationships to maintain.
Yeah. too, at least in the weekend, you know. All right, I'll leave you to it, and I hope that it was informative for the people, both Skillshare and Team Artists.
Wicked.
Have a good one.
You too, Kfir. Always nice to hear from you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
So Zachariah says, "Hi Jack, I've sent you a Skype message. You didn't respond. Whoops, sorry." But it's okay. You solved your problem. Awesome. So can you remind me? I guess I could look on my Skype actually. I have to be a little bit careful because I do these live streams by doing my screen recording. So when I check stuff, everybody sees it, which isn't always good. But if you could remind me what your question was, it would probably be good for me to talk about it in this call. Aside from that, I'm going to... I see that you're here, Ray. Are you actually here?
Of course. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. You joined straight away, man. At some point, your daughter came in.
Oh, you know what? What happened was I might have been early or forgot the time, but man, the time change kills me, man.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, especially because in the US, they have daylight savings time, but in Nicaragua, they don't have daylight savings time. So sometimes I'm an hour different from the East Coast, sometimes I'm 2 hours. And every time it changes, it messes with me.
Yeah, you know what? Last Friday, I actually got up at 7 and thought it was 8 and waited until 9. And no one came on, and then I fell asleep. That's what happened. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I might have miscalculated here. So how's everything, though?
Oh, it's been awesome. So actually last week, I didn't do this call because I was in Costa Rica for a week. So here we go. Here's the...
Well, that explains it.
Yeah. But it was amazing, honestly. I went away for 6 days, and I didn't take my laptop with me. I was away from the computer. I was away from checking things. And right now, I tend to check things too often, where it's like ineffective. Like checking my email 10, 20 times a day. I should just check it once instead of I'll like sit down on the computer and then I like, okay, look at Facebook, look at email, look at Skillshare. And it's not like it works, but it's not effective to react to things. It's important to know what you need to do and take time to do it, but then it's done and you're going to do it again tomorrow. That's kind of the mentality I'm trying to get in. So it was super helpful to just be away from the computer for a week and then kind of get a bit out of those habits so that when I came back, I feel very refreshed. I know exactly what I want to do, what I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel and everything. So it was a super beneficial vacation. Skated like 4 to 8 hours a day. So that was fun.
Excellent. You know what? A friend of mine also went to the same place you just mentioned, and Costa Rica. Yeah, and but he's a preacher, and I'm trying to figure out: did you guys wind up going to the same convention or something like that?
Yeah, I wasn't there for any particular event or anything. I was there because my visa was expiring, and yeah. What's up, Kafir?
Hey, can I interrupt you guys with one little thing?
Yeah, of course.
It was like, I just can't believe that it actually happened. It's a complete coincidence, but I hanged up the call. I was about to get in, and then I saw an email from the team
You're breaking up. I heard you saw an email from the... We can't hear anything you're saying, Kfir. Curses! Sounded like something interesting. Hey. Okay, try again, Kfir. Yeah. So you got an email and then nothing after that.
So I talked all about Tmart, and then I hanged up and I was about to go into the house, and then I saw an email from the team of Tmart writing us that they are much into the idea of providing a resale agreement, but I can't promise yet that we will be able to provide that. But it's an awesome news that they're in, which shows us how much of good of a supplier they are for dropshippers. And hopefully me and my team will manage to actually create that partnership and then provide resale agreement for the viewers. So I'm sorry for interrupting. It was just such a coincidence that I had to also bring that up, it was awesome.
It's funny how the world works like that.
It's also the first time that I'm talking about it like outside our channel. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm leaving again, and you guys go back to the conversation. That's it. Have a good one.
See you, Kfir. Thanks.
Bye.
Hey, Kfir, it's great to hear from you, man. Keep it going, man. Keep pushing it.
Thank you, Ray. That's awesome, man. I'm happy that you also joined the call. I'll listen later to the recording because I want to hear what you guys are talking about. Make awesome value for the listeners.
Excellent. Until then, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
But yeah, I wasn't in Costa Rica for any particular event. It was just because I live in Nicaragua. That's like my long-term location, and I'll probably be here for a couple years at least. But I have to leave every 90 days so that I can remain here legally. And I only have to leave, like literally I just have to leave and come back. So I could technically just go to Costa Rica for like a day and come back, and that's what a lot of people do. But I like it more if I go somewhere for like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, and then come back, because then I get to travel, but I also get to stay in Nicaragua, which is, staying here for 4 or 5 months, you save so much money. It's crazy.
Oh, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And tell me what's next on the agenda, man. What's next for you?
Skillshare and YouTube. So Skillshare has been way more lucrative than I expected it to be. Like my first month, I got $100-something. No, that was pretty good. But then the second month is like $500, and it's all from referrals, because they give you $10 for every free trial person that you sign up, which is super rare for affiliate work. Usually, in order to get like $10, you would have to have a paid customer. And it's much harder to convince people to pay for a service than it is to convince them to sign up for a free trial. And especially something like Skillshare, which like I can talk about so energetically and excitedly because I really truly believe it's a great opportunity for people, because it allows you to learn almost anything. So it's so flexible, whereas there's other tools and services that like I don't mind talking about, but I don't believe that they're going to make most people's lives better. Whereas with Skillshare, I believe that pretty much anybody who is like has a computer would benefit from being a Skillshare member, just because of how much information you can get. And it's just been really a great experience for me, both as an instructor and as a student. So I'm trying to make like my name be like, I'm known for dropshipping, but if I could be known for Skillshare as well, that's good. That's what I want. And I'm actually changing the direction of my YouTube channel. I love the freedom of my YouTube channel. I love being able to make videos about anything. And like these live streams, for example, they don't perform well at all, but they allow me to meet and connect with the people in my audience, anybody who's willing to join and be a part of the call. And I really, really value that. And I love having this freedom on my YouTube channel. However, this kind of freedom gets in the way of the growth of my YouTube channel. And so now I'm trying to figure out a balance of how can I grow my YouTube channel more while also maintaining that freedom to post whatever kind of content I want. And so the main thing that my YouTube channel is missing is, I think, more predictability about the kind of content that gets published and when it's going to be published. I publish content so often that very few people can actually keep up with that content. So one thing that I'm trying to figure out is how can I make the content I produce more predictable while also still being able to post conversations with people and post videos about like when I'm visiting a skate park or when I'm doing something in a video game or whatever, without kind of alienating my audience. So what I'm doing is transitioning over to these 2-minute tutorials. So what's going to happen is I have a list. It's actually like right here. It's a list of like 500 different 2-minute tutorials that are going to be released every other day for like 2 years. So essentially that's going to be the predictable content on my YouTube channel, is these 2-minute tutorials that teach one specific thing, and they're published every other day. I'm still going to do all of my other videos and the live streams and everything else, but I'm just going to post those as I kind of want to and as they happen. There's not going to be a schedule to them. Whereas these 2-minute tutorials, these are going to be the things that I tell people to subscribe for. So in my videos, I can be like, hey, there's a new tutorial every other day. It's only 2 minutes. You can subscribe and learn something really, really quickly. And so I'm going to do this for a while and kind of see if it helps the YouTube channel's growth.
I see. That's awesome, man.
So now let me answer. Zachariah Chana asked, Jack, I have a question. How to make sure I'll get buyers' feedback when buying an item? So I think you're talking about when you're buying an item specifically to increase feedback on your eBay account. And you have to be a bit careful with that, because that can be viewed as abuse by eBay and you can get in trouble for it. Like if you just buy like 5 or 6 things, then probably not going to happen. But if you're buying hundreds of things, then eBay can and does ban people for abusing the feedback system. For example, people will buy like 99-cent items and then they'll buy like 100 of them. And in this case, it does increase your feedback, but you can get in trouble. What's up, Zaki? For doing that. So you have to be a bit careful, right? Ho-ho! Things I have found just donated 99 cents. Thank you. So I would encourage you to be careful doing that. But that being said, if you are buying something and you want to increase the chance that the buyer is actually going to, or the seller is actually going to give you feedback, then you should look at their feedback profile. And what you want to do is find a seller who uses automated feedback, okay? So you can identify if they're using automated feedback by seeing if all of their feedback responses are similar, like if they're the same, if there's a pattern. That increases the chance that they're using a setting in eBay which is automatically giving positive feedback as soon as the transaction finishes, because this is something a lot of sellers do. Zaki, are you the same as Zachariah Chana? Is the same person or a different person? I can't hear anything. And so it is possible that I'm misunderstanding what the question is, and that you're thinking of the buyers leaving feedback with you as a seller. So if that is the case, I'll just explain this, because I can't hear anything at the moment, so I'm not sure. But if you are selling things and you want more buyers to give you feedback, first off, it's important to understand that most buyers aren't going to give you any feedback.
Hello.
Hey, I can hear you now.
Yes. So how do I detect what sellers will give feedback automatically?
So there's a setting in eBay that automates you giving feedback to your buyers, okay? And the way that it works is you pick like 6 different responses. It can be like, hey, item was great, thanks, or awesome item, you're amazing. Like you're gonna see that there's 5 or 6 different responses. So
Okay,
you're gonna look,
see.
you look in their feedback history and you just look for the same sentences over and over again. If you're seeing the same sentences that it looks like it's copy pasted, that's an indication that they're more likely to leave you feedback quickly. Whereas if it's unique, like you see that each feedback is like typed differently, maybe sometimes there's spelling mistakes that aren't in the other ones, that's an indication that they're not using the automatic feedback system. So typically if you're another way would be to identify a seller that has a lot of feedback, because they're much more likely to know about the automatic system and use it. Whereas if you're buying from somebody with like 10 or 20 feedback, it's quite likely that they don't even know that the automatic feedback system exists. So you're more likely to encounter it if you're buying from somebody with like 1,000 feedbacks. But again, you have to be careful. You shouldn't use that too much, because you can get in trouble with eBay. And feedback isn't as important as most people think it is. Like if you have an experienced dropshipper who has done a lot and they really know what they're doing, they can create a new account and get sales with 0 feedback. A lot of new people think that they're not getting sales because they only have 0 feedback, but this isn't really true. The reason new people don't get sales is because they don't have the experience, they don't have the understanding, the information. It is true that having more feedback is going to increase your chance of getting a sale, but it's not true that having 0 feedback is going to prevent you from getting a sale in the first place. Experienced dropshippers can and do get sales on brand new accounts with 0 feedback, like straight away. So it's important not to think that feedback is the determining factor, because it's not that simple.
Okay. Could you give some advice or tips to get sales when you don't even have feedback, when you're new on eBay?
Yeah, definitely. So getting sales is all about posting items where there isn't any competition. So if you can identify stuff that there's nobody else selling or only one other person selling, you're much more likely to get a sale in this case than you are using like items that hundreds of other people are selling. It's too hard to rank in those situations. So
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, when you're selling something that's yours, but when you're drop shipping, you are selling common items that everyone else sells.
Yeah. So you have
How can you do it when you're drop shipping?
It depends on the source you're using. Because like say that you're using Walmart or Amazon, the chance of you finding an item that nobody else is selling is super unlikely. However, if you're using a source that a lot of other people don't use, it's not a mainstream source, it's not commonly talked about on YouTube, that kind of thing, then the chance of you getting a sale is much more likely, because you can post products, and just because you're using a different source that is less well known, there's going to be less competition. So it can often be easier to get sales in the beginning when you're using some of these other third-party sources.
Okay, I have another question. Do buyers need to type what they're looking for to see the item I'm selling? Or is there something like a front page on eBay who shows new items?
There's multiple different ways. So I'll show an example in the stream. So I'm going to go to ebay.com right now. And so most of the time, a buyer identifies your listing by searching. Okay, so let's say I want to find a copy of Perfect Dark for the Nintendo 64. I would search for Perfect Dark, and then it shows me listings. The listings that show up on the first page are more likely to get purchased, right? However, that's not the only way that people browse. It's also possible, instead of browsing by keyword, you browse by category. So here, for example, I'm going to click on categories, and then I'm going to go down to video games and consoles. So in this case, when somebody searches for a keyword, they know exactly what they want to buy, and they're searching for that particular item. Whereas when somebody is searching by category, They are like more likely to be a person who is shopping for fun or is bored and is looking at things, right? So they'll pick a category, in this case like video games, right? And then they'll browse it, and then they'll see like, oh, okay, like that looks interesting. I'm going to click on that. So these are the two main ways that people get into your listing. They search for things by keyword in the search bar, or they're browsing by category. These aren't the only ways. It's possible for them to find your item actually on another website and eBay's advertising it there, and then they end up on eBay from that other website. It's possible that they went to Google and then they were like, all right, let's get Perfect Dark Nintendo 64 used, right? They're not even on eBay at this point, but they see that eBay is one of the cheaper options, so then they end up on eBay even though they started off searching on Google. There's a lot of different ways that people can end up on your listing, and it's not as simple as like, oh, this is the one way everybody does it, because it's just not the case, unfortunately.
All right, thanks.
So there's one question I want to answer real quick. Eli Pro says, so you don't dropship anymore? And that is correct. I stopped dropshipping when I got banned on eBay late last year in like November. And personally for me, like I still talk about dropshipping because dropshipping is an opportunity, but it's important to understand that if you really want to have stable income as a self-employed person, you need to have a lot of different income streams, because ultimately being your own worker, your own boss, can be quite stressful when you don't know where your money's going to come from. And in order to be at your best and make good decisions, you have to be not stressed. So the best way to work around this is to have 3 or 4 different things that you do to earn money, so that when something happens to one of them, you don't have to worry about food not being on the table. It's not life or death. A lot of people talk about it like, oh, you need that motivation to do something. But from what I've observed about people who are successful, they are more relaxed. They don't feel like the world is ending. They know what they need to do and they do it. People who are super desperate tend to work really, really hard for a little bit, but then lose their motivation. So it's important that you don't rely on desperation. You can use that energy to establish stability, but having stability in your income streams is super, super, super important, because it's inevitable that something's going to happen. And yeah, something was earning you $1,000 a month, but it's going to go down to $100. Maybe it'll go back up to $1,000, but this is how life works. Life throws shit at you and you got to be able to handle it. So for me,
I've heard you got banned from Mark from No BS Dropshipping.
oh yeah, I don't pay attention anymore.
He also called you a lunatic.
Yeah.
Because you list 10,000 items on eBay.
Yeah, I had a store with over 100,000 items, and like that's why I got banned. But it's important to understand that, like, for me, I wanted to be a YouTuber. That's what I really, really wanted. Dropshipping was just something that allowed me to become a YouTuber, to get attention, right? And I learned a lot about dropshipping, and I met a lot of people, and it changed my life. But Mark doesn't like me because I didn't earn that much money dropshipping. I barely earned anything, especially compared to Mark. He's like super wealthy and earns a lot of money from dropshipping. So for him, it was quite frustrating, the fact that like I developed a reputation without earning much money. And like that's something that I want you guys to understand as a comfort. Like I was able to change my life with dropshipping without earning that much. And I don't even do it anymore. Yet dropshipping still changed my life, right? And so to answer Eli's question, why I don't dropship and why, like, because obviously I was banned on eBay, but I could be dropshipping on Amazon. I could make stealth accounts and just use those stealth accounts. I could open new US companies or UK companies and dropship in the names of these companies. Like there's so many things that I could be doing to keep dropshipping. Getting banned on eBay doesn't actually prevent you from dropshipping. It just prevents you from dropshipping in that one identity. But you can make new companies. You can work with friends. There's so many options, right? And that's what I was trying to get at earlier about this subject of dropshipping, is that in the past, I wasn't happy with my life. I was working for other people. I didn't feel like I was living my best life. I was really frustrated by my job, by like the people I was around sometimes. I wasn't in financial control of my life. I wasn't able to go have dinner and eat food with my friends because I couldn't afford to, right? And I wasn't happy with my life. Dropshipping represented an opportunity to change that, okay? I was so into dropshipping in the past because I wasn't happy with my life, okay? But now things have changed completely. All of my expenses, all of my food, everything in my life is taken care of through passive income. I don't need to do anything every day in order to have my bills paid. So the appeal of dropshipping for me is almost completely gone. I don't need to change the quality of my life anymore. What I need is things that I love and that I enjoy and to work with other people. So after getting banned, I got an opportunity to recreate my life and fill it with things that truly make me happy. And I don't perceive dropshipping as something that makes me happy. It's something that can be done to earn money, but it's not something that truly resonates with me at my core. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that for those that really don't know Jack, he's actually an innovator. He's a very special person. What he does, I mean, what he have done or accomplished so far, I mean, no one has ever done that. And I mean, for the publicity side of it, I mean, I'm sure he could have a lot more money doing drop shipping if he wished to pattern his ideas on what other people are doing. And he's doing something outside of the box. And you just got to give him credit for that. I just can't give you enough credit, man. I see through the BS. I see through a bunch of stuff that is really not for me to say. But you do see it. It's clear. However, you are a special person. I'm going to leave it as that.
Thanks for the support, man. I appreciate that. But at the same time, though, it's important that like any of you guys listening understands that there are so many people in the world, and like I'm able to live the life that I live, but that does not. I'm not the only person doing this. I'm not the only person to accomplish anything that I've done. I've been able to accomplish things because I expose myself to what other people are doing. I talk to them, I learn from them, and then I do the things that I admire other people are doing, right? There's nothing that I've done that I feel like I'm the only person who did it. And I often feel really insecure. I feel like I'm not good enough. And like, these are the same feelings all of us have. So it's important not to kind of, you know, like idolize people because we're all human. But Eli asked where I earn my money now, so I can give a quick overview. So originally, most of it was coming from the dropshipping course on Udemy. So if I go to Udemy, I can go to the instructor view, and then I can go to performance, and here we go. So since I started on Udemy, the dropshipping course has earned like almost $18,000. But after the changes that eBay made, that income dropped substantially, right? So it was making like at the peak like $1,600 a month, but typically between $1,000 and $1,600. And so for some reference, if you live in a country like Nicaragua, you need $500 a month to live fairly comfortably. So to have $1,000 in income without having to do anything else is life-changing. Even if that only exists for 5 months, that's enough time to move into one of these other countries and spend every hour of every day doing stuff that makes your future better, right? So the course, this dropshipping course, was the first thing that really opened my eyes to that kind of income, okay? So there's income from the Udemy course, then there's also income from YouTube. So my YouTube channel is not growing as much as it used to. And the ad revenue has gone down, but it still exists, right? So if I go over to my analytics on my YouTube account, we can see that from YouTube, I get about $170 a month. At the peak, this was like $500. When I was doing more dropshipping content, I was getting more money from advertisements and that kind of thing. So this number was way more up. Whereas now I'm just kind of like making videos. My channel doesn't have a specific theme aside from that I'm showing you guys what I'm currently working on, right? So we have income from Udemy. We have income from YouTube. Then there's also income from the dropshipping tools that I have made tutorials about, right? So DSM tool is an example. I've earned about $1,000 from DSM tool. I earn between like 20 and 150 bucks a month from them. I also get payments from SkuGrid, from Hydrolister. Although I don't earn anything from Hydrolister anymore, but I used to earn like $300 a month. So Hydrolister, AutoDS as well. All these tools I get affiliate income from just from making YouTube videos showing people how to use the tools, right? And so it's not much individually, you know, $20, $100 a month, but when you have 7 or 8 different tools that are contributing to your income, it adds up, right? So those were the main sources of my income when I got banned, because when I got banned from dropshipping, I was still focused on dropshipping. Dropshipping was what my YouTube channel was about and everything, right? Whereas after I got banned, I really started to think like, okay, how can I get away from dropshipping? How can I have more diversity in my income? I also didn't like the fact that I earned most of my money from a course about dropshipping when I don't dropship anymore. And like, I don't worry about that because I know that the course isn't lying to anybody. The course is a whole bunch of information, and I'm not telling anybody, hey, do this and you're going to earn this. It's not built like that. The course is more like a map to understand the different strategies that people use when dropshipping, the obstacles that you're going to come across, emotional support and encouragement to motivate yourself to figure out the solutions and that kind of thing. So I know that it's okay that I'm not dropshipping and I have the course because I made the course with that in mind. But at the same time, I want to earn money from other things, right? So that's when I started getting into Skillshare as a platform. So I started on Skillshare about 2 months ago, and my first paycheck from Skillshare was $110. And then the second one will be $330. And then if we look at my referrals, so if I go to this notification here, where is it? View profile, refer a friend, here we go. If we go to refer a friend, then we can see that there's actually 67 referrals. So that's 670 bucks from referring people to Skillshare. And Skillshare now earns me more money than the Udemy dropshipping course does, which I really like because dropshipping is actually a banned subject on Skillshare. You can't even talk about it. So my Skillshare income is completely unaffected by what's currently going on with dropshipping and that kind of thing. Okay, so skill development says sold an item for 10 bucks on eBay and you order it from Walmart for 5 bucks on customer behalf. It's okay. But when customer receive it, he will see the invoice which shows the packet order value is 5 bucks. Yep, that's correct. If you're ordering from Walmart, they're going to put a receipt in the box and your customer will see that if they look at it. The reality is most people are never going to look at it, and the people who do are going to think that you're trying to scam them. So when they message you, you can literally be like, hey, this is how I earn money. You can calculate my profit by seeing the price that you paid, subtracting the price that you see on the receipt, and then minusing eBay's fee, okay? And I know that may seem weird to like straight up tell somebody who's mad at you how much money you earned from it. But most of the time when customers are angry, it's because they think that you're trying to fuck them over or scam them. So as soon as you show them, hey, I'm willing to work with you, I'm not trying to scam you, this is just how I earn money, most of the time they're actually going to be like, oh, okay, I understand that. Maybe they won't buy from you again, but anytime I had that problem as a dropshipper, I would just straight up tell them. I would give them the formula so that they can calculate how much profit I earned from that sale. And then I would be like, if you want to return it, feel free to start a return case. And they barely ever did. Again, most of the time, they thought that you tried to fuck them over on purpose. They're picturing you as this person who's like, ha, fuck you, I got you, ha ha. So as soon as you show them that you're not like that, all the negative vibes pretty much disappear. Andrew White says, any other courses you're working on? Yeah, so I have 4 courses on Skillshare. So I can talk about those real quick. So one of my courses is doing way better than the others, okay? So I have one course about screencast recording and live streaming. So that's what I'm doing right now. This is live streaming using OBS. And it's a guide about how to do that and how to record videos just like this, where you have the screen and usually there's a talking head. But because I'm recording the Zoom call, I don't have my face right now. I have a course about getting started on Skillshare as a teacher, although this course doesn't have a single student, so that's kind of frustrating. Like nobody's interested in that course. And then I have a course about using keyword research on YouTube to identify subjects that you might want to create videos about or even create courses about. Then I also have a course about running a YouTube channel and how to get started on YouTube and the mentality necessary to continuously create content. So my first month on Skillshare, I made these 4 courses. Essentially what I did is every day for 30 days, I took one Skillshare course and I watched one YouTube video on Skillshare. So you can see that I have this Google Sheet document here. So this is day 1 when I first started on Skillshare. I hadn't made any courses, hadn't taken any courses, hadn't done anything. On day 1, I watched this YouTube video that had something to do with Skillshare. In this case, it was about a comparison between Skillshare and Lynda. And then I took this Skillshare course, which was about Instagram. And so the idea is that by exposing yourself to new courses every single day, you put yourself in a position where you can create better courses, right? So every day I was taking one Skillshare course and taking one YouTube video. And then every 7 days, I was creating one Skillshare course, okay? So in that first 30-day period, I watched 30 Skillshare courses, I watched 30 videos on YouTube about Skillshare, and I published 4 different courses. And so that's, I think, a really powerful way to get started on Skillshare, just because when you are, if you are an instructor, you become a much better instructor by actually taking other people's courses and exposing yourself to what other people are doing. If you go to Skillshare with the mentality like, oh, I already have this course somewhere else, I just want to post it here so it's available, you're probably not going to do that well. But if you go to Skillshare and you are really using the platform, you're participating in the discussions, it is a really valid opportunity for a lot of people. Like, I have an edge because I have my YouTube channel, so I can get tons of money through the referrals like straight away. If you don't have a YouTube channel, then you're going to have to rely on developing your audience through creating useful content. And then you get most of your money through people actually watching your videos on Skillshare. But Skillshare as a platform, you don't need a reputation to get started on it. Like, when it comes to my actual students, the people participating in the class that earns me the most money at the moment, these aren't people from my YouTube channel. Most of these are people from Skillshare who have come across it because the course has high engagement, right? So one thing that you can look at on a Skillshare course to determine how well it's doing and how well it's going to be
your
pushed
internet speed
is the amount of projects that people are participating. And I made this course to make it likely that people will participate in the projects. And just for some reference, it's typical to have one project for every 10 to 100 reviews. Okay, so this course has 4 projects and only 2 reviews. So it actually has more projects than reviews, which is almost unheard of. That's super, super, super rare. And it's a very good indication that the course is going to get bigger as Skillshare pushes it. But again, this is one course I made out of 4, and the other ones aren't doing well at all. So it's really important to just like keep creating content and keep going. In this case, I thought this would be the least popular course. I barely even made it. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to pick this. And it ended up earning me some money. So that's going to be cool. And this is only the first month of the course being out. Usually it takes like a year for you to really build up a lot of traction and get to a point where you can be earning good money from a course. So Zachariah asked about the MMO I want to make. So I've talked a bit about the fact that like my ultimate ambition in life is to create video games. That's like what I want to do. But that's a long way away, especially in MMO. Like that's something we're talking about like 10, 20 years in the future. Essentially what I'm trying to do is establish a lifestyle where I have all the free time I want and I don't have concerns about money. Like I'm not rich. I don't want to be rich necessarily, but I want to be able to invest in things that like game development, for example. I want to be able to like pay a team of people to develop a video game with me. And one of the things that I'm doing in Nicaragua is setting up the connections necessary to do that in the future. Because in the United States, you have to pay somebody a lot of money for them to have a livable wage. Whereas in Nicaragua, you can pay somebody $4 an hour, and that's a better job than they can get with a degree. So like I'm absolutely interested in setting up a team of really motivated people in Nicaragua where I could pay like programmers here $4 or $5 an hour, and they're like really good programmers who are very dedicated. Like that does not happen in the US. Like a good programmer in the US can cost 10 times that much money. So it's a really unique situation. And when it comes to the video game development stuff, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what game development studio would have the most competitive advantages as possible when they create video games compared to other studios. So one, it would be a studio that doesn't need to create products in order to pay its employees. If the studio already has enough money to fund employees, that's a huge advantage. Number two, a studio that has tons of free time because it doesn't need to pay its employees and it already has that money taken care of. Number three, a studio that exists in a country where the cost of living is super, super, super cheap, which is like Nicaragua, right? So these are all things that I'm trying to work on at the root cause so that I can create an environment that makes it very likely that good games can be created. But again, this is like in the future. Right now, I'm more focused on like YouTube and teaching and really establishing that solid, those solid income streams so that I feel comfortable and I'm not worried about money anymore. Okay, Andrew White says, I have a problem when talking to the camera making YouTube videos. What is your advice in talking in front of a camera? 1,600 watch views so far for 6 months. Let's see, that's tricky, honestly, because like, okay, for me now, like when I see recording, I just like, I get that in the zone, I get this enthusiasm. It's really easy to just keep talking and keep that narration going. Whereas when I first started, I would like start and then a minute into the video, I lose track, right? And I lose that energy and I'm like, oh crap. And then I feel like I have to restart the video and try again, but then it happens again, right? Like that was an experience that was really common for me. Like it would be just like this, where I lose track of what I'm talking about, right? And it sounds like this. And then I start feeling demotivated, start feeling like I'm not bringing value. But really, you just got to get more experience talking. And YouTube in particular is a long game. It's not something that you should expect results from within 6 months or a year. If you do get results, that's super lucky. But it's not typical, right? Like for me, I didn't get crazy growth on YouTube, but I got connections that changed my life. Like YouTube allowed me to meet Mark and move to Nicaragua. And even though I'm not around that environment anymore, if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't be here living this life. I would be doing something else. Maybe it would have taken me a few more years to get to this point. YouTube sped all of that up. But regarding feeling more comfortable, the best advice I can give you is to follow this YouTuber. So I'll share this real quick. Go to YouTube and search for Reyes the Entrepreneur. This is going to really inspire you when it comes to making videos. So this guy's big now, okay? 200,000 subscribers. That's really, like, that's a lot of subscribers. Some of his videos, 2.2 million views, 1.7 million views. So for some reference, if a video has 1 million views, you could be earning between $100 and $1,000 per day in ad revenue from that one video. So if you have a video with 1 million views, boom. That is as much passive income as I get from like all of my courses. Just for some reference, having a video with 1 million views, that means you have close to a full-time income just off of that video alone, right? So it may be easy to think, oh, well, yeah, this guy's a big YouTuber, yada, yada, but he did not start that way. And what's interesting about Reyes is he has documented his whole journey, right? So if you go to his YouTube channel and then you sort it by date sorted oldest, you can see when he first started YouTube, okay? Look at these thumbnails. Homeless in Pismo Beach. My biggest struggle on being homeless. Like, he started with nothing. And you may think, oh yeah, these videos are getting 21,000 views, 17,000, 12,000, 23,000. They were not getting that many views in the beginning. The only reason these videos have that many views is because of those 1 million view videos that he's done now. In the beginning, by the first like 10 videos, he had like 7 subscribers, and each video was getting like 5 views. That's what YouTube is like until you establish an audience. So I really, really encourage you, if you're feeling like doubtful, check out this YouTube channel. In particular, there's 2 videos I want you to watch. There's Reyes' vending machine video, okay? This is the first video that he made that hit 1 million views, okay? So Reyes vending machine, I gotta search it differently. Reyes vending machine business. I think it's this one.
Guess what today is?
No, this is a different one. There's one with 1 million. Here we go. Okay, so he made this YouTube video, right?
Watch carefully.
After we see this ad.
Today.
Okay, he made this YouTube video showing how much his vending machine business made in a month, okay? And just for some reference, it's in quarters. Like, you're talking about like 20, 30 bucks of profit. He had a business, a vending machine business, that's earning him 20 or 30 bucks a month, okay? He made a video about this. That video got viral, millions of views, okay? And so watch this video, and then go to YouTube and search for Reyes, how much YouTube paid me for 1 million views. And then watch this video. And I completely assure you,
how much
if you are having doubts about like YouTube and that kind of thing, watching this video and then watching this video will inspire you. He shows you like his analytics directly, how much he's earning per day from ad revenue alone from that one video, right? Like, so if we look at this screenshot real quick. Okay, if we look in the bottom right, each of these dots, this dot, that dot, that's a day, okay? So from this video, he earned $1,440 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days from that one video, okay? And he started out 3 years before this being homeless. So if you're worried about YouTube, like, you're just looking too closely. You just have to keep creating content and do what you love and try and improve. As long as you're doing this and you're regularly pursuing it and making content, it feels like a grind in the beginning, but you really can get so far with YouTube, and you can get connected with the right people, because really it only takes one solid connection to change your life. Even if you don't end up working out with that connection, they just need to know that you exist, right? Like, I don't dropship anymore, but people know who I am, and that enables me to do like tons of things that I wasn't able to do before, right? Okay, I'm looking back at the chat. Give me a second. Okay. Zachariah says, Jack, what do you think about working at a call center for 8 or 9 hours a day without holidays except Saturday and Sunday? Is it exploitation of workers in third world countries? Could you do it? So now, no, I couldn't do that. But I couldn't work for another person anymore. Like, I just couldn't. But I will give you some perspective. Like, I live in Nicaragua, and if in Nicaragua, I live with locals. All of my friends are local Nicaraguan people, okay? In Nicaragua, if you go to school, then you go to college, you get a degree, and you get a job, and you're earning $4 per hour, you have a good job. You have enough that you can support yourself. And if you're earning like $5 an hour, $6 an hour, you have enough that you can provide for a family. So it's really important that you understand that the country that the call center exists in, it could be a good job for those people. Like here, for example, most of my local friends want to work at a call center. They want to have that job because, yeah, it sucks in the work, but it pays like $500 a month. And all you have to do to be able to do it is to know English. You don't necessarily need other credentials, right? So I'm not saying all of these call centers are created equal, but like here, for example, my friends want to work at a call center. I couldn't work at a call center. I couldn't do that. But that's because I did retail for like 7 years. I did work for other people. And I got to a point where I didn't need to do that anymore, right? In my past, would I have worked for a call center if I was in Nicaragua and I needed that opportunity? Yeah, I would. But times have changed. What's up, Ray?
Jack, I would like to help you out with this. I have a personal story behind that. I worked at call centers, and of course, it's in Dominican Republic, but I also worked at call centers in the States as well. And what call centers are designed to do, they are designed to keep you away from your loved ones, because you're there at least 8 hours a day, every single day. Having said that, for that little bit of money at the same time, all you're doing is you're making them, the company, rich, while you're getting poor, and worse off. Because each year, everything changes, and everything is changing for the worse. That's everywhere. The currency is not the same. Everything, I mean, there's so many things I can just tell you about currency in each and every country. Everyone is expecting for all the currencies to fall apart all at once, each and every country. I'm going to leave that as that. However, you're going to see that soon, no matter where you're at in the world. However, your best bet is go ahead on and work there. That's number one. Work there because you need income. Buy your laptop, buy your internet, buy everything that you need. But what you're doing is you're gravitating from one spot to the other. What you're doing is you're changing your life. You're working, but you're going to need income to buy the things that you want to get away from there and never return. That's how you do that. Okay?
Copy that, Ray. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a lot like so for me, because really what we're talking about is having a job. Not, this isn't unique to call centers. Most jobs are not like, okay, when you are working for other people, you are sacrificing a lot, because by working for somebody else, you are earning someone else money. You're never going to be able to exponentially change the quality of your life by working for other people alone. You can exponentially change the quality of your life by working for other people long enough to develop skills or develop tools that you then use to earn your own money. But it's important to understand that, you know, if you are always working for other people, your life is never going to change drastically. If you want drastic change in your life and you want to be your own boss and to earn money online, for example, you need to be willing to think differently. And you need to be able to address the risks that you're taking. One of the big misconceptions that I hear about self-employment and like success is that you need to be able to take risks. While this is true, it's not completely accurate, because from my perspective, working for somebody else is the biggest risk that you can take in life. That means that you are relying on another person to provide you and your family with what you need. You should be that person who is providing you. That is the only way that you can have true stability that's not going to be derailed the second somebody dies or somebody gets fired or that kind of thing, right? It's really important. So a lot of people will say that, oh, you need to take more risks. You need to take bigger risks. You need to be more comfortable taking risks. But that isn't, I really don't think that's true. What is true is that you need to be aware of the risks that you are already taking. Especially like if you get in a car, you could die. You're taking that risk. So it can be a bit misleading, because for an employed person, especially if you're driving to work, in my opinion, you are taking the two biggest risks you can take in your life. Every day you're stepping into a car and you're going to work for somebody else. That's hugely risky, incredibly risky. So I don't think that you necessarily need to take more risks in order to change your life. You just need to become more aware of the risks that you're already taking and understand that maybe these things I perceive as super risky actually aren't that risky, right? All right, Zaki, catch you later. Yeah, so all of these live streams get published after it takes like an hour or two after the live stream ends. But if you go to my YouTube channel, then you can just click on the live stream section and you can rewatch old live streams as much as you want. All right, let me look at the chat more. Hey, Ty. What's up, man? I just saw you're here. Bum, bum, bum. Cool. All right, guys. I think I'm actually gonna head out. It's been about an hour. Unless Ty, you gotta say something quickly if you want to talk. I'll chat with you for like 20 minutes if you want, but I want to go. I'm tired. So I'll give people like 2 or 3 more minutes to ask questions or anything. Hello, Doswan? Juan? Zwan? I don't know how to pronounce X's. Yeah, getting an account manager on eBay is super complicated. Essentially, you have to have a big store. Wholesale direct. Sorry, I didn't see your question. You asked, do you invest in stocks, real estates, or another assets? Not at the moment. Honestly, like in my past, I spent a lot of money before I earned it, and like that was a recurring theme. Like for example, when I went to Nicaragua the first time, I didn't have enough money saved up for the plane tickets or anything. So instead of paying my eBay bill, I just bought plane tickets because I knew that that would put me in a situation where I had the information necessary to change my life, right? But living this way was quite stressful and it took a toll on me. And so like I'm getting to a point now where I'm earning more money and I'm paying off my debts from the past and that kind of thing. But at the moment, there's nothing that I'm investing in. That obviously will change because once you have money, it's so much easier to make money. And especially in Nicaragua, there's a lot of like business opportunities here, especially having like a YouTube channel and being able to bring traffic. It's pretty crazy. But at the moment, like one of the reasons I didn't answer the question earlier is just because I don't have a lot of useful information to tell you, unfortunately. But living outside the US has been a huge huge change for me. YouTube changed my life, and changing my country of residence completely changed my life. I don't even know how to explain the fact that... Okay, let's talk about the dropshipping course for a second, for example. The dropshipping course was earning me about $1,600 per month, okay? Then eBay made some policy changes that took that number down to $400. My biggest income stream lost 75% of its income. Okay? If I was in the US, this would be a big deal. Okay? But because I was in Nicaragua, even in its diminished state, most people I know here work 40 hours or more a week for $600, $700 a month. So I can't be ungrateful. I can't complain about the fact that, yeah, I lost 3/4 of my income from the course, but it's still earning me almost as much as they earn in 40 hours with like a couple hours a month. And there's so many things like that by being able to move into Nicaragua, in the beginning it was hard because I didn't really know that many people. And especially after I left the Marx environment, I didn't really know anyone at all. And I felt really lonely. And I actually ended up leaving Nicaragua because of that. And then I came back, right? And when I came back, I had already established a community of people. And now that I've come back to Nicaragua and I have all these people, I have more access to people and family and good, solid, amazing friendships here in Nicaragua than I do in the States. So even though when I first left Nicaragua, I was leaving people behind and leaving things behind, I now feel like leaving Nicaragua is leaving people behind, leaving the people closest to me. That situation has changed completely. And honestly, it's not really... Like, my life isn't fair. I have to work so little, and I have so much more than almost anybody I know. It's absolutely not fair that I get to live the way that I do. I could do nothing today. I could do nothing for the next 3 weeks. And like I wouldn't be earning as much in the future, but all of my stuff is taken care of. All of my rent is paid. All of my bills are taken care of. I can, like, if I want to go out and have a fancy meal or cook anything, I can do that off of like passive income. And it's because of the combination of having digital products online, courses, YouTube channels, these kind of things, and being willing to move to another country. There's so many preconceptions we have about life in other countries, but like living in Nicaragua is a huge benefit for me. It gives me an incredibly loving environment with people who care about me, know me, and want me to be at my best and want to learn from me. It gives me an incredibly cheap cost of living. All of my bills, for example, okay, my rent, I rent one room in a whole big house and I have access to the whole house. So it's like we share everything. We use each other's appliances and everything. It cost me $150 for my rent, okay? Internet's $50. That's pretty expensive relatively. And then electricity is $20. So in total, $220 for all of my housing stuff to be taken care of. Food, if I'm like buying fancy things and I'm cooking a bunch of cool foreign meals and sometimes I'm going out to eat, another like $200-300 a month. Let's say $300. Let's say that I'm paying more money for food than I am for rent, okay? $600. It's crazy. Like you would think that I would be sacrificing something to have that situation. And I was in the beginning because I didn't really know anybody, but now I get to have an amazing environment, cost of living is cheap. It's insane. And it's all because of the willingness to just go live in a country that the cost of living is cheaper. I went on that rant, sorry. I hope that was relevant. Yeah, I know that I built this life, but I'm just trying to say that, like, I know a lot of people who work all the time, and they work really, really hard. And, like, they deserve this life more than I do. I'm not, like, I hate working for more than an hour or two in a row. I literally don't. I can do one thing for an hour or maybe 2 hours and then move on to another thing and end up having worked like 12, 16 hours in a day. But I cannot do any one thing. I get so bored and I just feel dumb. I don't like it at all. I'm not a diligent person. Like, I'm diligent in the fact that I can do something every day for 30 minutes, knowing that it's making my future better. I'll do that. But can I work for 6 hours in a row? I don't do that ever. And so when I'm saying it's unfair, it's that there's so many people I know who work way harder than I do. They put in way more time and they make way more sacrifices. They sacrifice time with the people they love. They sacrifice time with themselves. They sacrifice the mental energy to improve their futures by improving their job's future. They work harder than I do, so much harder. But yet I have a life where I can do anything. And it is true that I set it up this way, but it's also true that I just got lucky. Like, I was raised by two people who traveled the world and exposed me to different cultures. If that wasn't the case, I probably wouldn't have been able to go live in another country and be where I am. Like, you have to go over a lot of mental blocks to be able to do that, right? So, yeah. Yeah, $2,000 a month in Jersey. Yeah, sounds right. And that's another thing with the US. It's like, there's so much there, but it's so expensive. If you get a college degree, right? Say that you paid $100,000. Let's say that you want to live in Nicaragua like a really good life. Like, we're not talking about just having your bills paid and getting by. We're talking about, like, you have like a villa and maybe you have a pool, you have maids, you have everything taken care of. Okay, you're spending $1,000 a month in Nicaragua. Okay, let's say a college degree costs $100,000. That's 100 months, right? I think. Yeah. That amount of money is 100 months, okay? So there's 12 months in a year. So for the same cost of getting a college education in the US, you could live like a king in Nicaragua, having everything taken care of, having like a villa, a view of the Pacific or some crazy cliffs, right? For 8 years, you could live that way. Think of what you could do with 8 years where you have all day to do anything that you want. And it's like that. It was so hard for me, to be honest. Going back to the US after living here, every time I would spend money, I was just like, I could see the years in Nicaragua that little purchase meant, right? Like dropping $100 on something, I'd be like, man, it's like 15 days of rent. Holy shit. It's crazy, and it's such a unique opportunity right now. I don't think that it's going to stay that way forever, but probably for the next like couple generations. But in 200-300 years, no way. Yeah, man, if you're ever in Nicaragua, come visit. Everything about like my contact information is public, so if you ever need to, just send me an email. You can find it in like comments or in the YouTube channel. If you go to about and then click like for business inquiries or something like that, it'll show you the email, then you can reach out. Or if you just want to, like, you're listening to this video, my email is jackdermotpitman@gmail.com. That's JackDermotPitman@gmail.com. And said Wholesale Direct said high risk, high reward. But that's the thing, though. I don't really think that it's risky. Like, I think it's risky to work for someone else and to get in cars. Those are huge risks. I don't really think that what I've done, like, I think that what I've done people perceive as risky, but for me, I felt like I was taking more risks when I was still employed and working. And that's one of the things that I learned from Grind Camp, actually. I went to an event and I met like 20 other people who were all self-employed. And one of the recurring things was that you're never really ready to quit your job. The act of quitting your job and throwing yourself into the uncertainty of self-employment is what makes you ready. It's kind of like when people talk about having children. Like, you can't be ready to have a child. The act of having a child makes you ready, but at the same time, like, you know, if you have a child when you're 40, you're probably going to do a way better job as a parent than if you have a child at 15, you know, almost certainly. So I take that back. That metaphor was really bad, and I think I just confused you guys more. I'm just trying to say that, like, risks, you got to be careful with how you think about risks, because if you're here, you're breathing, you're taking risks, tons of risks. So don't mislead people by saying, like, oh, you're not taking enough risks. You just have to be aware of the risks that you're taking. Anyway, all right, guys. What's up, Ray?
Well, I'm sorry. I just want to say one other thing, too. Remember that if you work from home and everything like that, that your life expectancy just goes up. Your accident expenses and all that stuff goes up. Everything goes up because you're at home. Less things are going to happen to you at home. You save a bunch of money for food and everything else, and I'll leave you guys with that as well. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially, like, say that there's a Five Guys next to your job. Psh, I'd be going there every day. But if you're at home, you're more likely to cook at home and that kind of thing. Definitely just way more likely that you're going to save money. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, Ray. I will see you guys next week. And if any of you want, you can schedule an individual call with me. You can look in the description, find the Calendly link, and you literally just go to calendly.com, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to talk to Jack at this time on this day about this subject. If you want it to be, so typically they are recorded and published to my YouTube channel, and then they're free. So we can talk about anything as long as you're willing to let it be recorded. If you want it to be a private video, then it costs $20, and I'll talk to you for like 30 minutes or an hour about whatever you want, and I won't record it, okay? If anybody is interested, check out the link in the description. And also, check out Skillshare. I freaking love it. I think everybody should be on Skillshare. All right, guys. Ciao.